I was shot through the head. The bullet went through both sides of my brain. It went into the top of my head and it came out of the back. And I died. I always told him that. I grew up in Zambia, Northern Rhodesia at the time, privileged upbringing. My name is Basil O'Connell-Jones. As a young man, I was just adventurous, full of fun. I don't believe I had any desire to go crazy or into the things I got into, but circumstances took me that way, and it was the early 70s. Drugs were just starting to come onto the market in a big way, and obviously I started to experiment, would be the good word, with drugs, with LSD, with marijuana, of course, drinking, partying, all that kind of thing. And I said to my dad, I need to go to England. I need to go and find myself. And he looked at me like I was stupid. He said, Dad, what are you talking about? You want to find yourself, you know? And but that was that was what people were saying in those days. We must find ourselves. Obviously, you know, when I went to England, I didn't find myself because I took myself with me. Anyway, during that time, I did see the price of drugs were fetching in London, and how cheap we're getting them in Zambia. So we started to run backwards and forwards like that. We sold it to some rock groups actually, and so obviously we made a lot of money. I was never at peace. I was always looking for something. I was always chasing something. I was always out there in all the holistic drugs, in all the cocaine, in all the rock groups, and all the things, and everything that went with it. I wasn't happy, and I just wanted to get out of England, and I just said, look, I'm out of here, guys. When I flew out the country, and I arrived back in Africa. In Zimbabwe was exactly where the war was starting, and I decided to join the army, and I joined an elite unit. It was a commando unit, and got very fit and was taught how and trained how to kill people, you know, and that had never crossed my mind before. And we were young. We're 18, 19, and 20 years old. It was 1st of February 1977, and it was raining. It had been raining, and the bush was very thick. And while we were walking, we'd lost sight with a helicopter that was trying to direct us from the air. We were ambushed. Not us, the four of us, but there was another stop group that got ambushed. So I was lying on the ground and just waiting for the guys to get ready, and then we said, okay, let's go. And as I stood up to go, I was shot through the head. I never lost consciousness for a moment. The pain was too intense. The agony was unbearable. And I remember thinking, lying on the ground there, and I could taste blood and sand in my mouth, and I knew I was dying, and I knew that there was nothing I could do to stop or to get me out of there. But what I experienced was my whole spirit came out of my body, and I mean my arms out of my arms, my body out of my body, my legs out of my legs. And at that moment, it was the most incredible moment because I was instantly released from pain, and I was at peace, perhaps for the first time in my life. I don't know, and I had not yet entered into eternity, because if I had entered into eternity, I would have gone to hell. I know for sure. I remember I was walking, and I'm aware that I've got legs and I've got arms, and I was turned around and I see my body lying on the ground. And as I see my own body lying on the ground, I've got no say in this matter. I'm back in. And as I re-enter my body, my spirit re-enters my body, all the pain and all the drama and all the suffering comes flooding back. The bullet had gone right through my motor section. My speech section they were just removed completely. They're no longer in my head even. The doctor told my mother that I would never, judging by the x-rays, that I'd never walk again, I'd never talk again. They thought also I was blind. I never spoke again for many, many weeks, maybe months, I'm not sure. And paralyzed, couldn't move any of my limbs. This one I could just move a little bit and was pulling tubes out of my brain and wherever I could get it to help my hands at all. So they just tied my hand to the bed as well. So I lay like that for a long, long time. In all these times of not speaking, I would think, but when I was shot, I died. And I tried to talk myself out of that. I tried to convince myself, no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. No, it was, it's my imagination. But the more I thought about it, the more real it became. And if you die, where do you go? So I went to this convalescent center in the mountains of Zimbabwe, and there was a medic there at that time. And he sat down and he began to share with me his experience with Jesus, his faith, how the Lord saved him, what he was before, what he is now, his passion to serve the Lord, to tell people about Jesus. I can safely say that was the first time I'd ever heard the gospel clearly with such conviction. And as you're talking, I was convicted of my sin. I was confronted by my state, and I had questions. Obviously, well, if I become a Christian, must I stop drinking? Must I stop smoking? Must I stop going with girls? This and that. And he very simply just said, listen, if you just come to the Lord as you are, repent of your sin, the Lord will do the rest. I remember I sat on the bed that night and I was at a place where I just said, Lord, can you help me? Can anybody help me? I'm so lost. I'm so messed up. Lord, please will you? And I prayed a very simple prayer. And I just asked the Lord to come to my heart to forgive me of my sin as simply and as best and as sincerely as I knew how. And the Lord saved me that night. Because the next morning when I woke up, I knew something miraculous had taken place in my life. And for the first time, I knew that everything was going to be just fine. Even with my physical disability, even with my impediments that were many at that time, I knew that things were going to be okay. I'm just a sinner saved by grace, and that's enough for me. I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be saved. There's many times I should have been killed, but I never was. But if I have opportunity today to encourage you, if your life is finished, if your life is full of sin, if you've been bound by drugs, by depression, by some kind of accident maybe you're also disabled, I don't know. You're caught up in a war somewhere. I don't know, your life is messed up somewhere. I want to encourage you, come to Jesus, repent of your sin, come to him as you are, where you are, in the state you are, ask him for forgiveness, be sincere, be genuine, and God will come and save you and do a miracle in your life.